Hey guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back. My name is Laura, for those of you that do not know, and today I'm super excited because we are going to be talking about my favorite romance books that incorporate the fake dating trope. Now, I'm obsessed with fake dating as a trope. I don't know about you guys. I'm assuming if you clicked on the video, it's gonna be a favorite of yours as well. But I just love fake dating. It always leads to like the craziest plots. There's always something super chaotic and eccentric going on, and just the characters always have a lot of fun in these books. I just really enjoy reading them. If you've never read a fake dating book, it's when the two main characters have to pretend they're dating for some odd reason or another. So I'm gonna go through my favorite books. I wanna know what you guys' favorite fake dating books are too, so definitely leave me a comment. If this is your first time watching my videos, or maybe first few times, definitely leave me a comment down below, introduce yourself, say hello. I would love to talk to you and become best friends. Even if you've watched my videos for a long time and you just never comment, leave me a comment so we can become best friends. But other than that, I'm really excited to get into the fake dating books, and I'm just gonna get right into it. The first book on my list is actually a recent read of mine, and I just fell completely head over heels in love with this book and its characters, and that is the Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I've read from Christina Lauren before. I really love their books that they put out. I always know that I'm in for a good time when I pick up one of their books, and this one was definitely no exception. This book follows two people who are a part of the same wedding party. They're actually both siblings of the married couple, so it's like the sister, aka the maid of honor, and the brother, who is also the, what is it called? The best man. And so they're both in this wedding together, and the whole wedding ends up eating this buffet where they all end up getting super sick, including the bride and groom. The only two people who did not eat from the buffet are the maid of honor and the best man. And so this girl's sister is like, please go on the honeymoon for us to Hawaii. Like, I don't want it to go to waste. And her husband offers the same to his brother. So these two characters, who kind of have like an enemies to lovers thing going on, end up taking this vacation together to Hawaii. Once they get to Hawaii, a bunch of different things happen that make them have to actually act like they are a married couple on their honeymoon. And so the story goes from there, of them being on this honeymoon together. Like I said, this is also kind of enemies to lovers, so you get a little sprinkle of that on in there. They haven't really gotten along very well in the past, so this is sort of their chance to finally see if there's something more to it. But this book was so great. I literally was laughing out loud reading it, and I was texting my friend. I was like, this is actually like the funniest book I've read in a hot second. And she's like, no, because I was literally giggling reading it. And I'm like, it's so true. If you haven't read this book, you need to read it because it's actually really funny. But the romance was so cute. I loved the characters in this book. Definitely standout characters for Christina Lauren. I feel like sometimes it's hit or miss, but these characters I just was absolutely obsessed with. I thought they were both so great, so complex, and I just really enjoyed reading their story. So this is definitely like my new favorite go-to fake dating book, and if you've not read it yet, I highly, highly recommend it. The next book on my list is called Fake Out by Eden Finley. This is the first book of a series, and the whole series is actually companion novels about fake dating. So if you're interested in the fake dating trope, highly recommend you check out all of the books, but I'm talking about the first one specifically, which is called Fake Out. This book follows a guy who once upon a time, like 5 years ago into his past, he had a girlfriend and he didn't know how to break up with her without hurting her feelings, so he told her that he was gay. And so basically she ends up telling everybody in his hometown. Everybody thinks he's gay even though he is allegedly straight. And so when he runs into her 5 years later and she's getting married, she invites him to her wedding, and he says he'll bring his boyfriend, but he doesn't have a boyfriend. And so he gets one of his best friends who has a gay brother to come with him to the wedding and act like they are together, and the story goes from there, of them having this fake date at a wedding. And I loved this book. I loved this book. I really love Eden Finley. I've read so many of their books, but this one is like a new favorite of mine. I haven't read the whole series yet, but I definitely want to, especially if it's more fake dating. But this was done so well. I really loved the progression of their relationship. It felt realistic. It didn't feel super rushed, but like the fake dating aspect, and then them eventually actually falling for each other, it felt very real. So highly, highly recommend this one, especially if you're looking for an LGBT rec. I know you guys are always asking, so I try to include them as much as I can. But this was a really fun one. I definitely think you guys will like it. And it's short, it's like really to the point, but also feels like it's long enough to really connect to the characters. So I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. Next book on my list is called Talon by Carrie Ann Cole. This is actually part of a series, but you can totally just read this book as a standalone and you'll be completely fine. But it's one of my favorites from the series. series. It's really, really great. It's about these two people who sign up for a program where you answer a bunch of questions about yourself and get matched with somebody who's going to potentially be your perfect match, and you have to get married to them blindly, not even seeing them once, stay married for 6 months, and then the end is supposed to see like the psychology behind the questions and if it was like really indeed their perfect match and how the marriage went and whatever. So these two characters end up signing up for it and getting paired together. And they are like polar opposites. Like they could not be less alike. And the story kind of progresses from there, from them having this fake marriage. So when I think of a typical fake dating book, it's usually like two people having to like pretend that they're together to hide from some other secret or something else going on. But this is just like, they're literally like fake dating. Like they're literally married, but it's like not real because they can't stand each other. And so the story goes from there. It shows their 6-month marriage. And this is just such a fun one. It's a really unexpected romance that blossoms between these two characters. And it's just such a delight to watch. But I love this whole series. I've talked about it countless times, but I feel like this book often gets overlooked. I don't think I've outrightly like talked about this book in particular from this series. So if you haven't read the whole series, highly recommend the whole series. But this book in particular, super fun, super kind of different fake dating, almost marriage of convenience story. So if you're into that, definitely recommend it. Next book on my list is Play by Kylie Scott. This is the second book in her Stage Dive series, which is a series of companion novels. So again, totally can be read as a standalone. The book series follows a band, and every single band member has their own book. So this follows the drummer, and this character, he's had like a really bad reputation. He's been doing a lot of crazy things, and his bandmates say like, you need to like calm down, you need to get your image back, you need to do something respectable. And so he ends up striking a deal with this girl who's actually a really big fan of the band, but she's very reserved, very shy, but she desperately needs money. And so they have like a fake relationship for the public, and the story goes from there. I really like this one because it incorporates like the celebrity aspect of fake dating. I feel like that's like a really fun thing to explore. There's so many times where in the real world we're like speculating which celebrities are fake dating. So to see it kind of play out in a romance book was actually really fun. And I just love this series. I love the way that Kylie Scott writes her books, and I loved the band aspect of this book. Like the whole series is so phenomenal, but this one in particular is super fun, super great for fake dating, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. Next book on my list is an all-time favorite book of mine, and that is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapita. This is one of my like all-time favorite romance books. Like I love it so much. And this is actually a marriage of convenience fake dating style book. It's about a girl who's an assistant to a famous football player, and she ends up quitting her job. She's like sick of him and his attitude. He's very like cold towards her. This is very much like grumpy sunshine trope, if you're into that trope. He's very like distant, cold, doesn't really act like he cares about anything that she does for him. So she quits, and then a few weeks go by and he ends up at her door asking if they can strike a deal because he does not want to get deported. And so that kind of causes the whole marriage of convenience thing to come in and the fake dating thing to come in. This is such a wonderful book. It's super slow burn. So if you're into slow burn, highly recommend. It's like one of the best. If you're not into slow burn, it might be like achingly long for you, and it might be like, oh my God, all this for that. But like, I promise, the relationship in this book is just done so well. I don't even care that the book is literally like 600 pages. It's just so good. And I loved it. I loved it so much. This is like a really good marriage of convenience fake dating book. So if you haven't checked it out yet, which I kind of highly doubt, I feel like a lot of you guys have read this book, but if you haven't read it yet, please go do yourself a favor, pick up this book, read it. It's so great. The last book on my list is called Fake It Till You Make Out by Isla Olson. This is a part of a larger series as well, but you can totally read this as a standalone. It's the first one in the series, and they're all about different couples, but this is very similar to the book by Eden Finley that I was talking about. It's about a boy who ends up telling an old ex that he's gay and then gets confronted by them, so he has to act like he has a boyfriend, and it just so happens his best friend is with him at this coffee shop, so he like drags his best friend into it and is like, yeah, this is my boyfriend, and they kind of have to keep up the rouge, and it's super fun. I liked this one a lot because it was like friends to lovers, because they're obviously best friends that already know each other, as opposed to the other book where it's like a random guy that he's fake dating with. So this one was really fun for that reason. I love to see the friends to lovers action. It's always exciting. But this was a really good one. Again, another gay romance recommendation. I feel like this author has a lot of great ones. I've read like this whole series and I really, really loved it. But as far as fake dating goes, this is definitely a good one. The pacing of this one is also really great. It's not too long, but it's long enough that you start to like have an attachment to the characters again, very similar to some of these other books that I've talked about, but highly, highly recommend. This one is so great. So guys, those are my recommendations for my favorite fake dating romance books. I hope that you found a new book to read. I know I didn't have a ton of recommendations, but I really wanted to just stick to my all-time favorites and not include anything that I thought was just so-so. But I promise I have a TBR the size of literally Mount Everest of fake dating books to read, so I'll keep you guys posted if I find any more gems out there, because I know they're kind of hard to come by. This is a little tricky trope. Sometimes it's not that great, so I'll definitely keep you guys updated if I find any other really good fake dating books. And of course, you guys need to keep me updated, so if you have any that I didn't talk about, definitely drop me a comment. If you want to keep up with me when I'm not posting videos, definitely go follow me on my Twitter and my Instagram and my TikTok and all of the things. I have it all linked down below. But other than that, I hope you're all having a fabulous day, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video very, very soon. Bye!